Welcome back to the CharCole Podcast. This is episode 10.
I went in I'm 4-2 right now. I had Iowa over Michigan as my lock. For my upset, I had Florida over Auburn. And Cole going 4-2. His lock was Wisconsin over unranked Kent State. And his upset was Texas Tech over Oklahoma State. Charlie 5-1. Oklahoma over unranked Kansas as his lock. His upset was Tulsa over SMU. Mr. Denning 4-2, Wisconsin over Kent State for his lock, and his upset was Iowa over Michigan. Mr. Schaefer is 4-2. He had Notre Dame over Bowling Green as his lock. His upset was Army over Tulane. Mr. Hatland 2-4. He had Wisconsin over Kent State, and his upset was Cincinnati over UCF. Mr. Christensen 3-3, Oklahoma over Kansas as his lock, and Michigan over Iowa was his upset.
Thank you, Dawson, for those. Just some standings here. Charlie and I are actually tied for first at 6-2. Tied for third, we have Dawson, Mr. Denning, Mr. Schaefer, and Coach K at 5-3. And bringing up the rear is Mr. Hetland at 4-4.
Now we're going to hop into some wheel-to-side topics we have a little time here.
About 20 minutes.
About 20 minutes to get this done.
First topic, since we already rolled and we had a little bit of a blooper. Topic number 19.
Topic number 19 says, hunting. Should the legal limit of pheasants be risen up to 4? Right now it is 3. My take on this before I can let you talk, we have property up in Sanborn County, and we have a ton of pheasants on the property. And the number of people that actually come and shoot pheasants in South Dakota is lowered other than previous years. So I think it should be raised up to 4. I mean, back in the day, the number was 6. So
yeah,
you could have shot a lot of pheasants back.
I think the pheasant population is going up, especially down by us. We also have pretty good habitat for it down there, and we give them some extra corn we might have out of our bins. So I mean, it's pretty favorable down by us. So there is quite a few. But yeah, so I think it should be moved up to 4.
Yes.
All right, next topic. We have numero 13.
Not sports related. This kind of includes Dawson here behind the camera. What is the best brand, John Deere or Case IH? Dawson, in your opinion, you can take this one right away.
Well, they both have their ups and downs. I mean, it's basically your own opinion on what you like and what you've been driving since you were little. I've been driving John Deere ever since I was little, so it's what I like. But if you've been driving Case, you're going to like Case. It's just, there's some better things on each one of them.
What are some of the main differences between both of them, other than
the paint,
obviously the color?
The paint.
The way they, like the transmissions and how to drive them, like the levers that you gotta push to make them move. It's the same concept, but they're just different designs, and
Obviously they're manufactured different, so
yes.
Yeah.
So
Well, Dawson, thank you for that.
Something to go add on to a little bit of Dawson segment behind the camera, just to include him in some stuff. And if you have anything, you can always add on too.
Yeah.
But topic 6.
Number 6.
Another person wants to be traded. His name is Stephon Diggs. Do you think the team will trade him? Well, this is definitely one of the most controversial topics in Minnesota Vikings locker room right now. Is Stephon Diggs the guy? We have Adam Thielen. We have Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins played better this weekend.
He did play better.
He played better, but Adam Thielen was the guy.
Yeah,
we noticed that Stephon Diggs came off the field and got right in Kevin Stefanski's ear and yelled him up and down how he was open. He didn't get the ball. Well, if you go back and rewatch the play, he wasn't open.
No, he was not.
I mean, I think that Diggs has got a little bit of a head since what he did against the Saints a couple of years ago. I mean, everyone's going to not forget the Minnesota Miracle. He's kind of kind of gotten a little bit of an ego, which I think that's what's making him do this.
And I think another big factor in this too is that teams are seeing this, that he's complaining about this, and they're like double covering him. So that makes him even more mad just to get in his head more, and that just affects how he plays. I mean,
Yep.
that just might be a game plan for them.
There's people that think that Diggs and Adam Thielen are the best wide receiver duo in the league, and honestly, I don't think Diggs is a great player. He's just an average guy who, I mean, had one great play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like he's a one-hit wonder if you think of it that way. I mean, the Patriots a couple of years ago against the Seahawks, they had the end zone pick. He was a one-hit wonder. I mean, there's a lot of those guys, and he's not just the dude. He's not your Julio Jones or your everyday guy. He's one guy who's
He made like 2 plays in his life, and
I mean, he'll make plays for you, but he's one of the guys who isn't consistent.
Yeah. Topic number 9. Yes, number 9.
Says the NFL Browns versus 49ers game last night. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, this just came to show that you can take a not very good but undefeated still, nonetheless, 49ers team and go against a team of the Cleveland Browns who really is more talk than they do play. Like, they talked a big talk in the offseason how they're going to be, this good and yada, yada, yada. Well, now they're actually playing teams. They're actually playing football, and they're really not coming out to play. And I think the 49ers just had an actually really good game.
The 49ers came out and hit him in the mouth, and the Browns weren't expecting that. And in the NFL, if you come out and hit a team in the mouth, you don't get, I mean, other than some college football games and obviously most of your high school football games, you're going to get hit in the mouth.
Yeah.
But in the NFL, it's more of a quick hitters, and it's more jabs and knockout punches. Well, I mean, the 49ers kept throwing knockout punches last night, and that's what killed the Browns.
They were really hitting them hard, and they kept hitting them.
And that's something you don't see in the NFL very often.
That's really,
punches.
Team comes out with that much physicality. I mean, you're probably going to win a couple games doing that.
Yes, exactly. And George Kittle, the tight end for the 49ers, really helps them. And he's going to be one of the better tight ends to have, especially in fantasy. So I mean, Buttons and Jesse over there talking about Kittle and how great of a night he had last night. Yeah, he's good. He's a good tight end.
He is pretty good.
Makes you think how good the Iowa tight ends have been. If obviously Fant and Hawkinson and obviously Kittle also. Some 3 great tight ends in the NFL right now.
Yep. All right, so topic number 3.
High school football. The MVP Titans are the number 5 and number 7 in the number 5 and the media poll and number 7 in the coaches poll. Do they deserve to be ranked higher? Okay. So just before when Dawson was doing his segment, I was reading a thing on the Argus Leaders Twitter page, and they had us in the Dome games versus winner. They had us knocking off Bridgewater Emory in the semis. But one thing I would like to note before everyone else catches on, we can probably report it first, as said by the CharCole Podcast, is according to sources unnamed, the quarterback for Bridgewater Emory, Brady Hawkins, is out for close to no matter what 3 weeks with mono.
Yep.
And everyone knows how bad mono can be.
That's what Sam Darnold, just for reference, that's how Sam Darnold has had. And that's what he has had for the past 3 weeks.
You don't want to be doing anything with mono.
No.
If you're out there in mono and obviously your spleen is enlarged, like they said with Darnold, your spleen enlarges and you can rupture your spleen. The question is does he want to win a state championship? Or, I mean, obviously they're okay, but without Brady Hawkins, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
This is something, obviously we don't have a topic on here, but I'll get to the next thing in a second. But Hawkins is the guy for Bridgewater.
He's the guy. He's the guy in
when
the state.
Hawkins came out for a little bit when we played them, they were really not great. So
Yeah, they're just kind of average.
I mean, Hawkins, if he gets hurt while he has mono, there's a chance he might not play sports ever again. So I think that if he actually wants to do something with his life and career, obviously he's a great football player and he's going to go play college sports at some place not named yet. He obviously took a trip down to Nebraska a little while ago. So and he's obviously committed to South Dakota State, but South Dakota State has told him he could go bigger if he wanted to. So
yes,
I think his best option is to not do anything, and it helped us out too, and it helped the rest of the state out too. So according to Mr. Coach Harder, Mr. Olson, and Jesse Hastings, pretty good sources, I guess.
Yeah.
The math has been done out, and if everything rolls out the way it should, we would have to play Bridgewater to get into the Dyke House.
Yep.
Without Hawkins, is that doable for the Titans?
I think so. I mean, we nearly did it at Joe Quinnell Field while they had Hawkins. I mean, it was an amazing game. I'm not gonna lie. It was really fun, especially playing at Joe Quinnell where they had the packed house because it was a doubleheader, and you just playing in that sort of.
You can add
scenario.
Matt Cook to the mix too for the Titans.
Yyep.
You can add Reed Russ
Matt
as a
Cook,
wide receiver
quarterback.
who will go up and grab the thing out of the air, which is really, really nice.
Yeah.
And everyone's developing. Obviously, I'm developing at right tackle. Reed's developing as a receiver. Matt Cook's starting to get into the groove of things after his first game last week. Everything's going to work out with the Titans.
I think it's going to work out, and come playoff time, we're going to be a.
We're going to be a team to look out for, and hopefully we can make a run at this thing. So back to the question.
Yeah. So there we go. Back to the question now.
The MVP Titans are the 5 seed in the media poll. 7 in the coaches. What's your thoughts?
I mean, considering that our 2 losses right now were to Bridgewater, Emory-Ethan, and Winter, who are 6-0 and 7-0 respectively, and 1-2 in the state respectively. You look at teams like Webster and St. Thomas More and McCook Central Montrose. I mean, I'm not saying they're bad teams, but they haven't. I don't think they've played teams to the caliber that we have.
They've played Bridgewater or obviously McCook has. I mean,
Yeah.
McCook played Bridgewater. McCook ended up losing by 26, something like that.
I
Something in
think
that
so.
range.
So-
I'm not
somewhere in there.
completely positive. I seen the fight. It was a while ago. You look at Webster. They play absolutely no one that is ranked on their schedule.
Yep.
They obviously played the McLaughlin team who had to forfeit, so that's a free win for them. They don't play a full schedule, so playoffs are going to be rough for them if they want to do something there.
Unless they are really that good, which I mean, it's kind of hard to tell when you're playing bad teams.
Exactly.
But,
I mean, a couple years ago when Webster was really good, they had a really good linebacker for Webster. They played nobody and then ended up getting to the Dome, and they made a run at the thing, but they didn't win the thing. So they'll probably have a quite easy shot to the Dyke House this year, but
yeah.
I don't know if they can do it. And then going down the list a little bit more, St. Thomas More, Winter took care of them pretty easily, and
It was pretty easy.
we only lost a Winter, and we had quite a discouraging game would probably be the word. Again, without Matt Cook.
Yeah.
Reed Russ is now at a wide receiver, and obviously all the young kids are developing, and we're all learning to play a little bit more. I mean, if you think about it in terms of Winter, all their kids have played football before. They don't have any freshmen out there. They don't have a quarterback who's not played before. We had to bring in new faces this year, and yet we still have a really
old
senior-heavy
faces, but just in new spots. I mean,
senior-heavy team for us. I mean, obviously, a few freshmen and a couple sophomores starting here and there, but I mean, and obviously our juniors aren't great. I mean, our junior numbers are low. It's going to be a fun playoff for 11B. I mean, if you could predict it, if I go to the future right now, it'd be something else. For all we know, it could be St. Thomas More and Webster in the Dome this year.
yeah, it could just be that way. I mean, but so do we deserve to be ranked higher? I think so.
Yes. I think that if we are probably deserving of a 3 or 4 spot.
I think so. Either 3 or 4.
I don't think we're necessarily better than Winter, but I think we're better than Bridgewater. Now that we've obviously it's hard for the media to develop or to look at us compared to coaches. Coaches can look at our film and stuff. Well, these guys, the media can't really see. Well,
they can really see only final scores.
They can see final scores. Well, coaches, they can see everything, such as who he's playing, who's got better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So,
I think that, and I think winner Bridgewater and then us in the top 3 this year.
I think so. Top 3 teams in the state.
I guess the media does what they do, and that's how it is.
That is just how it is. All right, moving on. Now we have topic number 4.
Way too early Super Bowl prediction. Who's in? Well, I got the Niners and the Patriots. Probably.
The 2 undefeated teams. If the Niners, I have a hard time believing that they're really that good and that they just didn't play a Browns team that just completely crapped their pants. But, if they are really that good, I'm just going to have to go with them because they're 4-0 on the year so far through 5 weeks. They already had their bye week. But through the year, if they can keep progressing, I think they're actually going to have a run for it. I was going to say the Cowboys.
I was going to, too.
But then their performance against the Packers was kind of...
But the Packers also aren't playing bad this year, and the Packers always start off great.
Yeah,
and they end up finishing less than ideal. So
yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what they can do as the Packers in Lambeau. I think they're going to have a couple home games, maybe 1 or 2 home games in the playoffs. So... maybe the Vikings can pick their stuff up too, and hopefully make a wild card would be the goal for the Vikings.
I hope so. They just got to figure out internal issues, but I think it's going to be the Patriots, and it's going to be a coin toss for whoever you want in the NFC.
Yes,
in my
I
opinion.
agree.
Next topic. We have topic number 1. Ooh, no. We kind of touched on this a little bit. Are the 49ers actually good?
Well, George Kittle's probably one of the better tight ends in the league. He's pretty good, and the Niners just have an all-around sound team. Defense plays the way defense should be played, and they come out and hit you in the mouth, and that's how it is. That's my 2 cents on
they
this.
come out. It's like watching a college team, to be completely honest with you. They're pro guys, but playing with the punch as like a high school and college team. So, they're very physical, and that's what I like about them. That's what the NFL needs, and that's, honestly, the key to success in the NFL is being physical. So, I think they can make a run at it this year.
I do, too.
Topic number 18.
High school basketball. Looking back at the Sodak 16 adoption, was it a good or bad addition to the playoffs? Okay, so it makes things interesting to say the least, because if you look at it in terms of last year, I think of it as Kadoka area was highly ranked in volleyball. Played nobody the whole year. All right, they played absolutely no one. Had a bunch of seed points because all the teams they played were bad too out west, and they had to do this stuff where they went into Sodak 16 thinking, you know what, I'm going to go get this, go to state championship. Well, here comes Kimbo Whitelake. Kimbo Whitelake comes in 12 ranked, I believe. They go into the Kadoka area. Actually, the game was in Stanley County, I believe. And they meet up there, and Kimbo Whitelake takes them 3-1. They just played better, and if you think about it, teams are more humbled in this. I think it's working for both ways. Is the seed points aren't always right. The state's kind of implementing that.
Yeah.
So you're not always going to play a great team. So it's nice to be able to balance stuff out a little bit, to say the least.
Yeah, I really like it because it puts people on like a level playing field. Like last year, and for example, our girls basketball team was ranked 13th.
Yep.
And we went over to
Madison to play Hamlin.
We went over to Madison and we played the number 4 ranked team, Hamlin. And it was a very fun game. I mean, we came out on top, obviously, because we made the state championship. But that just comes to show that if you put teams in that neutral area, it's like you're starting off the season 0-0. You win once, you're in the state championship. It's like you're playing for it all on the line. If you lose, you lost to probably a good team, and because they're the top 16 teams in the state. So, I mean, you have to kind of look at it that way a little bit. But I think it is a really good addition to the playoffs.
Do we got time for one more?
I think we have time for another one.
Alrighty. I think number 11? Okay.
11.
Number 11. Colts Chiefs. What in the world happened to the Chiefs? That's a great question. I didn't get to watch any of it because I was pretty busy on Sunday. I shot a deer and I was helping my dad do some stuff, so I didn't get to see many highlights of it. But I just do know that Mahomes isn't playing good ball right now.
Yeah, his last 2 games, I saw this stat. His first 3 games, he had 10 touchdown passes, and now in these last 2, he has 1. And that just goes to show that their offense can't produce.
Defenses are starting to figure out Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Finally, they're starting to figure out what he does, and they're spending more time in the film room, and it's paying off. The Colts obviously aren't a great team. They lost everything, and somehow they come out and beat the Chiefs, and the Rams fall this week too. So the two probably favored teams coming into the year, obviously Chiefs and Rams are always one of the top teams, fall this week. So I find it funny that the NFL is turning into the NBA with inconsistency of teams. It's like you never know who's going to win, which makes it fun, but it makes it really difficult.
It's also really weird to think about it. So I think we've got time for one.
All right, I'd like to talk about one here. Future. Where will the Mount Vernon Plankton girls basketball team go this year after their first, more of a, actually it's more of a question, and I'm going to make my own little thing here.
Yeah.
Where will the girls basketball team go this year after last year's ordeal in the state tournament?
I honestly think that after that whole experience, they really didn't lose that many. I mean, you lost Haley Walls and Michaela Cassidy, who, if you really look at it stats-wise, just kind of threw up shots and missed.
Yes.
If you honestly want to look at the stats.
And to be nice and put it the best way, in the state championship, Haley Walls had a total of 6 points, I believe.
And that was supposed to be one of our top players.
Yes.
Like top 3.
And Emily Fox comes out of there, probably should have been on the first team, his first state team last year, but Briggs ends up getting on it. And Briggs is obviously a great player. Fox and Briggs are gonna have a great year this year. Who's that next girl this year that can step
who's
up
gonna be the other one? Because you're gonna get those teams who are gonna be tall and lanky inside, and they're gonna have good perimeter defense. Those two, they're gonna have one-on-one on Emily, and probably 2 people on Caitlin, and you're gonna leave one person open. I mean,
we need to be able to shoot the 3 ball from the corner is what needs to happen. I mean, our girls need to get in the gym today and start shooting the 3 ball from the corner, because that's what's going to kill teams, especially when it comes time to play in the Denny, or actually this year it's in Sioux Falls. And when it comes time to do that, we need to have the 3 ball.
Yep.
So, Coach K, if you're watching this, we're going to be all good.
Yep. So where are they going to end up this year? I think they can go back.
What's an end goal? An
end goal is always you want to make it to the end of the regular season in good shape. And then from there, you can build off of that. So I think what they really need to do is just focus on the first few games. And then after that, if you see you're playing good, then you start to extend your goals. I mean, the goal is always to win a state championship. That's always in the back of your head playing. But I think they just need to take their first couple games and see where they're at, and then build off of that, get to the playoffs, build off of that, and then make it to the state championship. And then once you make it there, it's really just play as hard as you can for 3 games and see where you put.
In my opinion, before we have to wrap this up really quick. My opinion, the best thing they can do is try to get a 3rd place this year. That's what I think they should shoot for, is a 3rd place. Well, we got like
5 seconds. So thank you everybody for listening to episode 10. We'll see you in the next one.